The Houston Texans, without J.J. Watt, travel to Minnesota to try to knock off the undefeated Minnesota Vikings. Can they? Let's find out.
Skol Vikings, let's win this game. Skol Vikings, honor your name.
A quarter of the regular NFL season is finished, and the Vikings are still without a loss, sitting at 4-0, protecting their home, the U.S. Bank Stadium, the 2-0 record there, after a dominating performance over the New York Giants. Before I start the Vikings and Texans review, I'll review the Vikings versus Giants game just slightly. The big thing that came out of that game was Xavier Rhodes. First game, I'd say fully healthy. I know he played some the game before, but against the Giants, Odell Beckham Jr., talent-wise, probably the greatest receiver right now in the NFL. Shut him down. Completely shut him out in the second half. I believe only 30 yards total in the game. I believe 3 catches total for Odell Beckham Jr. A lot of people trying to call him the next Randy Moss. Shut down. Roads closed, baby. So I think Viking fans should be very, very excited to have Xavier Rhodes back. Just shows how much depth they have in the backfield. Being 4-0 with having about a game and a half of Xavier Rhodes and 2 games of Adrian Peterson, and even though those games he was pretty much a non-factor. No Teddy Bridgewater. Sam Bradford comes in, plays pretty well. Sharif Floyd's still been hurt. Nobody's been really talking about him, but he's the starting defensive tackle of the Vikings. He's been out, the 23rd overall pick. We have Jerick McKinnon and Matt Asiata filling in nicely for Adrian Peterson. Cordell Patterson getting some plays in against the Giants. He played well. It looks like Zimmer's rewarding him for his effort in the offseason. Look for more and more CPAT as the season goes on. Look for the Vikings to start mixing in Laquan Treadwell as the season goes on as well. But don't be surprised if they let him, if they make sure he's ready. Because we have so much depth at receiver, we have the ability to wait and see how long it'll take for these receivers to get up to par to play at a high level. Another injury. So that covers the Giants game. 24-10, a little bit sloppy, and they beat them very sure-handedly. Eric Kendricks probably had one of his worst games as a pro. Missed some tackles. Still played at a pretty high level, though. That's the thing about Kendricks. He's such a high-level player. When he makes mistakes, he does that at 100%. That's what coaches love. And the offense did enough. The major concern still is Blair Walsh. It sounds like Zimmer has just about had it with his kicker, and I wouldn't be surprised if they tried, say, the ex-Bears kicker, Robbie Gould, out to kick for him. Alright, so now finally on to what this video is all about. Vikings versus Texans. The battle of defenses. Now, unlike the Panthers-Vikings game, this isn't anywhere near that type of parallel. The Texans have a much different defense than that. The Vikings are all about depth everywhere in the field. The Texans' defense is all about J.J. Watt. Now, I do understand they have pieces, other pieces except for J.J. Watt that are very good Pro Bowl caliber defensive players. Jadeveon Clowney's got the bust label on him, which is a very, very misleading. A lot of those people that don't really watch the Texans, I know I've been critical of Jadeveon because I never thought he was as good as I saw during that draft recap. I know the only highlight I really saw was the one where he knocked the helmet off the running back. But he is the #1 Pro Football Focus run-stopping defensive end last year, so he's definitely a force to be reckoned with, and he's got plenty of talent to rush the quarterback as well. So it looks like a lot of pressure leaning on Clowney, but then that's, as far as the really superstar caliber talent goes, that's about it for the Texans defense, which is much different from the Vikings, who have talent all over the field. multiple guys that are Pro Bowl snubs in my opinion. The guys that don't get voted in right away. I'd see a lot more of that this year with the Vikings getting a lot more media attention. We should get Pro Bowlers in all the different areas of the defense. So with that being said, the Vikings should have a pretty decent time against their defense without Clowney. Without Watt. We should be able to figure things out. Our O-line's been playing better week after week. So look for another improved performance for the offensive line. I think Alex Boone's finally figured it out, and he's playing well. TJ Clemmings had an off game last week, but I think it's still an improvement over Matt Khalil. Brandon Fusco still doing Brandon Fusco things. We get great run blocking by center, and Jeremiah Searles, how the fuck you pronounce his last name, did an admirable job filling in for Andre Smith. Pass protection against Jason Pierre-Paul, and he didn't give up I think he only gave up one pressure during that game. As a backup right tackle, he played very, very well. I don't know how Andre Smith, how bad his injury is, but I wouldn't be too worried if we get Searles to fill in that game as well. And now for the Texans offense, obviously, much like their defense, it circles around one star player, and that is DeAndre Hopkins. Now earlier when I was reviewing the Giants game, I said Odell Beckham talent-wise, probably the best. DeAndre Hopkins is in the conversation and best overall talent-wise and just being a good football player. I'd say probably top three, him, Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, probably around at that top three and in really any particular order. It's really hard to tell, but as far as a red zone threat, he's probably the best out there. So another good test for Xavier Rhodes, but I've always said these big receivers, last week it was Odell Beckham, last week it was Kelvin Benjamin, that they're going to give us a hard time. But Mike Zimmer knows how to shut down these guys, so no worries there. I think another sub 50-yard game for our boy at wide receiver. So, that being said, how well can they run the ball with Lamar Miller? I think our run defense has been playing superb. So really, I don't see much of an offensive threat whatsoever from the Texans. And now the Vikings offensive side of the ball, I think our offense, we're just getting better all around. I think Jerick McKinnon at the start of the year was a better option at running back just because he can run out of the shotgun. He's more patient. He's more elusive, accelerates faster, and that's really what this new NFL is going to. And Matt Asiata is, of course, great at getting in the end zone, getting those 2-yard carries out of the way. And Stephon Diggs, of course, gets open on the outside. More CPAT. Of course, Adam Thielen. Maybe Laquan Treadwell. Kyle Rudolph has been one of Sam Bradford's favorite targets. Lots and lots of potential offensively for the Vikings, and they keep getting better. Another test against the Texans. I know I'm discrediting them a little bit because no J.J. Watt, but let's be honest, that is the biggest part of their team. There's a reason he was out there running the ball in the playoffs, because even offensively, they think he's probably their second best player on offense too. So, I really, as much as I want to take every game seriously, it's really hard to not think that we can't walk right over the Texans. We're at home. We're as high as ever as confidence-wise. Mike Zimmer's going to get a good game plan to shut out DeAndre Hopkins. I'm thinking 21-3 Vikings. Should be very, very sure-handed. But don't be surprised if this is the Vikings' first shutout. I really, really wouldn't be surprised if they just come out strong and hold the Texans to under 150 total yards, and we just get it done on offense as well. Run the ball well, get the clock run down, and have a very, very good, effective game on both sides of the ball. Hopefully Blair Walsh can bounce back. That's the other story coming into this week. This could very well be a make it or break it week for Blair Walsh. If he misses a kick, be it a PAT or a field goal, I really wouldn't be surprised if they pull the string after this week and at least pull in a kicker for competition and see if they think he's anywhere better than Blair Walsh. Oh yeah, with that being said, I would like to thank you guys for watching this video. Do you guys have any predictions to list down below? I'm sure Bryce the Beast will give us his 2 cents. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week for the next game preview. See you guys later.